Alright, today we're going to learn how to solve quadratic equations by using the quadratic formula. So again, quadratic formula will solve any quadratic equation, but it has to be in standard form. So here I've got my equation. This is a formula. So just like we did yesterday, my answer will always be x is equal to, because it represents the point on the graph in which my parabola crosses my x-axis. So this is negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and that whole thing divided by 2a. It'll be two separate problems. The one will be an addition problem, the one will be subtraction. So don't put in your calculator like plus and minus at the same time, because that will probably not work out well. A couple notes: make sure we divide the entire top. The entire top by the entire bottom. Make sure I do the entire top, hit the equal sign, and then divide it by the bottom in parentheses, and then make sure we get our equation in standard form first. So make sure it's x squared is first, x is second, and then constant term is last, and then I have my a, b, and c values. So I'm going to do this second example over here first. First thing I'm going to do is get everything over the same side so it's in standard form. So I'm going to subtract a 3x over to the other side. So you get 2x squared. Next I want my x term, so it's going to be minus 3x minus 8 equals 0. And so my a value is 2, my b value is negative 3, and my c value is negative 8. So when I plug this into my quadratic formula up here, so I get negative b, which is negative negative 3, plus or minus big square root sign. Then b, when you plug this in your calculator opens up parentheses for you for the square root sign. Then I have to put the b in parentheses as well. So it'll be parentheses negative 3, close parentheses squared, minus 4 times 2 times negative 8. And then divide that whole thing by 2 times my a value, which is 2. And again, I want this to be in parentheses or else it doesn't work out right. So negative negative 3 is the same as a positive 3. So when I plug this into my calculator, I do 3 plus the square root of, put another parentheses in there, so it's negative 3, close my parentheses and square it, minus 4 times 2 times negative 8. Then end the parentheses, so my top, should be equal to about 11.5, and then once I get that, then divide it by 2 times 2 on the bottom, either put it in parentheses or 2 times 2 is 4, and so I get x to equal 2.9. And then I can press the up button twice, put a subtraction sign instead of a plus sign, so I'll hit the equal sign, that gives me negative 5.5 about, then divide that by 4. And so I get x is equal to negative 1.4. Those will be my two solutions for my equation. There's another example we don't need to do. Here's using area formula. So if I want to find my living room of my house is 3 times as long as it is wide. So here's my living room. 3 times, so my length is going to be 3 times w, my width is w, and then I'm going to add on 12 extra feet. So my area formula is length times width, so I multiply these guys together, and I want to get 600 feet. Or 600 square feet. Distribute, so I get 3w squared plus 12 is equal to 600, and then get it in standard form by subtracting the 600 to the other side. So you get 3w squared plus 12, w, minus 600 is equal to 0. And then I can use the quadratic formula on that. This is my a value, my b value, and my c value. How's it going? Then the last thing I'm going to do is with an object being thrown with gravity, I'm going to make a quadratic equation. So h is going to be my starting height, t is my time, v is my initial velocity, and then s is going to be my starting height. So when I throw a baseball up and it hits the ground, h is going to be 0. Negative 9.8 t squared, so negative 9.8 is my acceleration of gravity. plus 31.3 is my initial velocity, times t, plus my starting height here is 1.8 meters, because I'm throwing it from, top of my head. Now this is my A, my B, and my C values. It's already in standard form, and so I can plug that in and find out how much time goes by. And we didn't do the pop quiz. Too bad. There's your homework assignment. That should be page 536 and 537, not 536,537. Our book doesn't go up that high. Make sure we use this formula for 78 through 80. It's negative 16 because all these equations are in feet rather than meters per second.